everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live here on Behance. be.net/live is the best place to watch us. We're in Barcelona, Spain. We're at OFFF, and this is Paloma Rincón. Welcome, Paloma.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much for having me over.
Of course, it's good to have you. This is Paloma's first live stream, so everyone, please be nice, say hola. We see people in chat saying hello. We've got Lisa, Matthias, Martin, Simon, Noose, hola, hello. Thanks for hanging out with us for another stream here at OFFF in Barcelona. Like I said, this is Paloma, and maybe you can talk about yourself a little bit. Let everyone know what you do, what your favorite things are.
Well, I'm a photographer. I'm a still life photographer mainly, and I work for advertising. I also do editorial work, and I always try to do more personal and experimental work where I can play around a bit and explore new ways of doing my photography.
Yeah, super cool. Your photography is so well designed. It's like a work of art in itself. I can't wait to show more of this. Which one do you want to start with to tell people about?
Well, we can start with this Mexican pink.
Yes, I was hoping you'd say that. Cool.
This is a project I did for the image of Mexico, the Mexican edition of Festival.
Yes.
It was this past October, and I am originally born and raised in Mexico City, so it was exciting to do this project. I wanted to play around a bit with Mexican elements and give them like a bit of visual twist.
Yeah, I'd say.
It's very colorful stuff, as most of the things I do that are very much inspired in this thing of having been raised in Mexico with all the color influence and also the craft around it. That's something I've always liked to do, like doing stuff with my hands since I was small. So, kind of speaks a lot about the kind of work that I do.
Whoa, I didn't even notice this.
Well,
Melting.
This is done with real paint. Some friends are telling me they thought it was 3D, but no, it's all shot in real photography.
How is this part of the team that you built? Was somebody a paint expert that they did this?
Not in this one.
No.
Like for my personal projects, I kind of do most of the stuff. So
how did you do this?
Well, there's at the end of the project, there's behind the scenes video where you could see me like cutting out this piñata and building these fruit things and how I worked with the paint and put it in acetate so it will have the transparency so I could cut it out afterwards and build it in post-production.
Wow, that's amazing. And this is basically this wallpaper, and then you built it out of real fruits?
This is a typical Mexican oilcloth. Like you can find it in like street places where you can eat. So it's very Mexican iconic.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to use all these like very familiar elements for Mexicans. The sarape is like kind of blanket that men wear. In the countryside.
Gotcha.
And I like deconstructed its colors in this dripping paint.
Gotcha. So this is like a tablecloth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. Very cool. And even these little details of this flower, I didn't even notice that at first.
Yeah, it was like bringing all the design in it to real life with real elements.
Right. Wow. Look at that. I love the colors. So
and
lovely.
Then, Mexico is also a lot about its flavors. So I wanted to do this Mexican map out of very typical things to eat in Mexico, like main diet for Mexicans, like basic.
Corn,
it's
peppers,
out of beans and corn and chile.
Yes, mixed all together, you get something very good. Cool, so this is the behind the scenes.
This is the behind the scenes.
Take a peek. I love this. Is it supposed to be like a piñata?
Yeah, it's a piñata.
Cool.
So this is me doing the piñata.
Gotcha. Did you paint or did you film this yourself too?
Yeah, I was.
Everything
I
was
was
yourself.
working with an assistant here.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
we were doing all of it together.
Wow. Had you ever
Laura.
made one before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
kind of knew what was going on.
Is that since I was small, I always loved to do stuff with my hands and with paper and just build things. So yeah, I made a few piñatas in my life. So
Yeah.
now I wanted to do one for a project.
You're a pro. So where did the idea of putting the watermelon inside come from?
Well, I have another project that we can have a look afterwards.
Okay.
This is called the Heat Wave, where I used a watermelon and put it inside a disco ball.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that one.
cool.
So I wanted, like, it's a very known project of mine. So
Yeah.
I wanted to, like, re-edit this idea
Yep,
of the
bring it
watermelon
back.
in a Mexican way.
She's known for the watermelon. You're putting the seed back in.
Yeah.
Get back in there. Cool. And you actually had your assistant waving aboard.
for the
That's
paper
so
to have
cool.
some movement.
Oh, cool. So there's more process for the oil
Yeah,
cloth.
there's the process for the clothes, so you can see it,
Whoa.
how it was built.
Wow. Did you have many more ideas of different things to do and you just had to pick your favorites?
I've been picking like representative stuff from Mexico in
Yeah.
all my travelings. Whenever I go,
okay.
I get stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like an ongoing project I would like to continue.
Yeah, you
So
should.
just like doing more images around these elements
Yeah.
that catch my attention
Right.
from Mexican crafts or just from everyday stuff you can find there.
Right. Oh, it's miniature. It's little.
Yeah, it's little.
Oh, I thought it was full size. This is so cool to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah, this was like an individual.
Oh.
Yeah, this is how I put the paint
Wow.
with a lot of patience.
Yes, I'm sure. Chat, what do you think about this? Yuri says amazing. Yes. Oh, Jamie Hernandez. We met him at 99U. What's up, Jamie? So cool. Simon says it looks so
Hey,
clean.
everybody. Yeah.
Seems like 3D work. I know, Simon. Okay, cool. So this is how you actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I missed. We were looking at the chat. I'm interested in how you did the very thin. Yeah, this part.
Yeah, now you
Wow.
can see how I do
Whoa.
these little parts. So I did like a stop motion of the paint dripping, and then I put it all together.
Wow. So it was on like clear plastic, and you painted it on
So
there.
it was easily cut it out.
Right. I think some people would say seeing this behind the scenes would take some of the magic away of this final product, but I think it adds more magic to it to see how you actually did it.
Yeah,
That's
I think
very
it helps
cool.
explain like that things are real, because as some of the viewers are saying, like
I
it
thought
looks
it
like
was fake.
3D, and it's something that I'm oftenly say
Yeah, so this, like you said, was the identity for OFFF in Mexico.
in Mexico.
Cool. So this was the badge. Nice. How did people like it? Were they?
Yeah, they liked it, and people in Mexico first, because some didn't know I was Mexican. So it was like somebody coming and doing something like very Mexican. But afterwards, when I did the image and everything was out, and I explained and showed the behind the scenes
Yeah.
video, they found it had a lot of sense, because
Of course.
it like makes sense in my process, and it makes sense in the my use of color, my use of crafts,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you truly know this. You grew up there. You are Mexican. That's very cool. All right, Chad, I guess that you are very impressed. Dush says this is awesome. Chandra says this is awesome. Martin says it
Great.
looks super tasty. Looks delicious. And someone says they want to see the disco watermelon. Can we look at that next?
yeah,
Cool.
we just spoke about it.
So heat wave. Let's
Yeah.
see. What's the story here?
The story here is I wanted to do a personal project, and I wanted to use natural light. This is shot in natural sunlight, no artificial light, no flashes, nothing.
Wow.
And it was shot in the middle of summer, which can get very, very warm in Madrid, where I'm
Yes.
based. And I wanted to do something playing around with crystal and metal as materials and some, more summery elements like, a cactus and some fruit and some, the thirsty thing and...
Super thirsty.
And
this is metal. I see.
Yeah, that's metal. So there were like the limits or my internal brief I gave to myself so I could develop something after that. And it's a mixture of more composed still lifes like this one. And there's these other ones that are like simpler and like more iconic, where I put together two elements that don't have anything to do and they make a new kind of object and having a new meaning.
Right. Did this float by itself?
No.
No? How did you do this?
I had somebody pulling it in the pineapple.
Yeah. Right. That's funny.
For that one, I also wanted to work near a pool because it was very warm, so I wanted to have a pool close so we could just jump in.
Cool off. This is your famous disco ball watermelon.
This is my famous disco melon. And it's all real and all the little crystals are pasted one by one.
Wow.
Into the watermelon. Well, just the side that you can see.
Oh, you didn't do the whole thing?
I didn't invest that much time in the hidden side.
I thought that you would have done the whole thing. You tricked me.
Yeah.
That's cool. And what's the story here? You were just mixing two things that were different?
Yeah, I just made this connection about the shape, and it was also two elements that were very summery, like summer parties.
Yes.
And fresh watermelon.
Definitely. The reflection just makes this all look so juicy and fresh. Ooh, this is different.
And this one was a bit more complicated to do because I did it in a swimming pool that was not a private swimming pool. So
really?
So I had to get a moment where there was not a lot of people. So I did it in two parts. I first got the set, the floating set, into a swimming pool and shot it by itself.
Oh, okay.
And then I composed it out of the swimming pool, but at the same time of the day, with the same light, with the same everything.
Same angle.
Yeah, I composed the rest of the composition because I didn't want anybody to see me with an
egg
with
in
a
the
fried
pool.
egg in the swimming pool. They were not going to like it that much.
I'm amazed that you did this in a public pool. There were like children running around?
Yeah, it was not like that public, but
okay.
it was like, people
were there.
Around. It was at my parents. They have a shared swimming pool. And actually, loads of the stuff I used here is things I found at my parents that I had been seeing all my life and wanted to use somehow.
Yeah, and
like
did you break
the
that?
Crystal. Yeah, I broke
you
it.
broke it. Oh no. You did it for the sake of art.
Yeah, for the sake of art. Well, it was like super cheap.
Oh, okay. They didn't care. It was fine.
No, that one I bought. That one I didn't took from my parents.
You just took it and broke it.
I wouldn't dare breaking their stuff.
Whoa, this is awesome. But definitely the juxtaposition of eating something and something that you should not eat.
Something that's usually very soft. It gets a little bit...
It's a little dangerous.
Dangerous to eat.
Dangerous ice cream.
Yeah.
People are laughing at these, but they're funny. That's awesome. Oh, wow, yes. Lisa says it's very modern and iconic. I agree. Ooh, Jamie, that's a good point. He says it reminds him of Dali's surrealism work.
Great.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, all surrealists liked a lot Mexico, so maybe there's a connection with that.
Yeah, could be. Very colorful culture. Cool. What is this? Just
It's a piece of metallic plastic.
Oh, okay.
And here's more of playing around with the shadows, which I was like really interested in this project because like the sun is amazing for casting these super hard shadows.
Right. This
very
is
difficult to reproduce in studio, like not as hard. Like you can get very close. But
right. I love that you shot it with natural lighting. It's very cool.
It's very democratic. Like everybody has sunshine. Well, some more than others, but
here right now we have a lot of sunshine.
Yeah, we do.
It's good. I love how this shape mimics the shape of the pineapple.
Yeah.
Really nice. I'm interested to know how you source your props. Like, do you go to a secondhand store? Do you go to a vintage store? Or this is all
Well,
your
this
parents?
was like vintage parents' house.
Yeah.
They had a lot. But I'm always like with my eyes open whenever I go to these like markets
Yeah.
or antiques or even in the trash.
Yeah, you're like, I'll
Just
take
like
that.
looking here and there. And whenever I see something that I think it will work sometime for any project, I just get it. So I keep on like accumulating. It's
Yeah.
kind of an excuse I have to buy stuff that I don't need.
Yeah, she's a hoarder, but
Yeah, but
she
then
has a reason.
I end up using almost everything.
Oh,
So
great. Do you just
I-
have like a room in your house where it's just like, this is
yeah, I
my
have in the
trash.
studio. I have like a bit of
Stuff
few
everywhere.
boxes
Yeah.
full of things.
Cool. What's the story with this?
Yeah, well, it's part of the same story. It's like these birds that die from thirst.
Oh, I see. Wow.
This heat wave is the name of
Yeah.
the project. So, yeah, and I was really feeling like that. It was like really, really warm, like over 40 degrees.
This
and
is Paloma.
I sweat so much. Yeah.
Did you do it the same way where you took the picture of the floating and then you set it up?
Yeah, and I set it up, and same direction to the sun,
Yes.
same hour. I did. It was a personal project. I didn't have like a client or anybody expecting me to. To
Be
to have
sending
a
things.
schedule and a delivery. So I just managed to do it in the spaces I had, like the free
Perfect.
space.
Yeah, I love that. Cool. And I really appreciate how you're willing to tell us how you did this. I feel like a lot of artists or designers, they don't want to tell how they made something because it's almost like they're telling you their secret. But you're really willing to tell us.
Yeah, I like to tell. Like, important part of the work I do, I think, is the process, and it's a place where I find a lot of inspiration. Like this project didn't start being what it ended up being, and a lot happened because of this like thing of doing. And when you are doing, like a lot of stuff comes, and it makes the initial idea richer.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes it grow the project. In a way.
Yeah, and you end up with something that you never imagined
Yeah.
in the first place.
Yeah, this was all going to start with all these like more composed still lifes, and in the middle of the project, all this juxtaposition of ideas came to me, and I started developing like this other part of the project, like the cactus cream and the
Cactus
disco
cream.
melon
Yeah, disco melon.
and the pine saber.
Yep. I love how you laid this out as well. It's these kind of composed still lives, and then you insert the more juxtaposed images. It tells a nice story. Very cool. All right, anything else you want to talk about? I'm interested in a lot of these.
Yeah, well, an interesting project to speak about is this Broken Heart, which it's like a very, very recently uploaded.
Oh, yeah, very recent.
And well, this project I did for Madrid Photo Fest. That's a photography festival in Madrid where I held a workshop, and they wanted me to do something that was like a kind of a show. So I've done. I had done before stuff with this workshop school. A lot of like high-speed photography.
Oh, yeah.
Because I also have like this more technical part where I like to have technical challenges.
Yes.
So for a time I wanted to explore working with liquid nitrogen, which evaporates at minus 200 degrees. So it's like very difficult to manipulate, and I didn't have the chance. Like it's not so easy to do it. So when they proposed me to be part of this festival, I told them I wanted to do this.
Yes, right.
And they were very happy with the idea. So I did this story where there's this more set designed image.
Right.
And I played with these flowers that were put inside the liquid nitrogen. And when they impact with the surface, they break like glass. Like they become more fragile, like a different kind of fragility that a flower usually has.
That's really interesting.
And Yeah, well, first for this one specifically, I shot like the composed part, and then is when I start to mess around and throw and do the explosions and all this.
Yeah.
And then I select like the best moments, and I build it in post production afterwards.
Oh, okay. I'm really curious about how you made this. Like, what did you do to make this flower explode like that?
Well, there's a behind the scenes video where you can
there
also
always
see
is. Great.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
a bit difficult because as it's a very tiny moment when this happens, we had to use a laser barrier. Like we have to synchronize the camera, so when the flower crossed that laser beam,
Yeah, it would
triggered the camera. And I had the help of the Phase One team, which is like the cameras I used to make all this technical part happen. And yeah, it worked, and it was like great. And it was initially I was going to do just like one picture, but like so many super beautiful images came out of there.
Yeah.
I had like a lot of things to show from this one.
A whole series. Ooh, I love this. The white with the red.
Yeah, it's that we don't have the chance to see this like minimum moment. So it's like macro photography as well, that you get to see like an 1/8,000 of a second, like frozen in.
Literally frozen.
Yeah,
in
literally
time.
frozen.
So is this when you had the specialist who was helping you with the chemicals?
Yeah, I
Very
had this
cool.
specialist that was manipulating the liquid nitrogen, that he was wearing these like super big
like gloves.
protective gloves and everything.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, this
it
stuff is
evaporates
dangerous.
just being there.
Wow. And you said this was a workshop, so were people watching you do this?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Is that pressure?
It was a lot of pressure because I didn't have the chance to try this before, because they told me like, yeah, you're going to do this, but you're not going to be able to test it before.
No.
So well, I arrived earlier that day and we tested everything was working.
Okay, good.
And when we were starting the practical, like the action part of the project, it didn't work. So it was like, oh my God,
no.
I have like 60 people here watching.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, it was like a technical thing of a light interfering with the laser that wasn't triggering the camera and all this. So, so yeah, finally it worked. And
I bet you were like, whoo, thank goodness.
And then we had like to do a lot of adjustments to it, because it's cameras have a little delay, and when it's so critical the time when you have to shoot, it's we had to adjust like the height of the laser, so we could get the
delay,
the delay and the shot in the right moment.
And I think you came out with such a great end product. So after watching that video, I'm still confused on how you did this. Did you how is this exploding and nothing else is even being touched?
Because I did a first shot with everything like still, and then I don't move the camera, I don't move the light, I don't move anything, so I just get the flowers hitting the base.
Yep.
And then I have different images to choose from, and then I just like put them in layers.
Oh, I see.
And select the part, but it's like easy to do it because you have like the same frame, the same light, the same everything, so it belongs like it's as if it was like physically possible. It could happen. It's just very improbable.
Right. And I actually forgot to mention, chat, if you are also a photographer and you're inspired by this and you'd like to get a portfolio review from Paloma, please submit your portfolios. I believe there's a link in the chat. So submit your portfolios, photography-based. That would be great to see. We'll be looking at some in just a couple minutes, so get those sent over. Cool. What other project do you want to look at? So many to choose
Yeah,
from.
maybe the freezing flowers. I'm very much into flowers.
I want to see more freezing flowers. Sounds good. Cool, so there's definitely a story here.
Yeah, well, it's not like a very long and deep story. It's
Yeah.
just that I like to. I wanted for a time to explore a little bit of floral photography, which is like one of the most traditional genres in photography, also in painting, like in art history, and it's always been like very classic too.
Right.
Like most of still life. But yeah, I had been playing with this material, which is like a resin, it's fake ice.
Right.
And I had some commercial projects with that, but I wanted to do something that was more experimental.
Right.
And I always like the idea of mixing something that's more like geometrical with something that's more organic. So I got these like more geometrical forms with the eyes and made these interactions with the flowers, either putting them in. It's something that's opposite because a flower wouldn't live inside ice.
No, it couldn't.
But it's not real ice, so we could get to do it.
Definitely.
And yeah, well, playing with the shapes. I also wanted to do something that was not so brightly colored. I wanted to have color, but a little bit more muted tones. Yeah, more peaceful in a way.
It is peaceful. It's very serene.
So I did it all over a water surface, so I could also do this like dripping effect and the contact with the flowers.
Man, this is so impressive. Like I would assume that this is just an effect or a 3D effect, but no, this is actual water.
No, sometimes it's like I feel that in a way like all CGI is going so big that sometimes there are certain things that are easier to do in real life.
Yeah.
And it's like even like to get the idea, if you are there playing around with the things and you're just like exploring and stuff, things come out.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then you get a product that you never expected to have. Where with CGI, you really have to plan for specific things.
You have to plan it. It has to be before in your mind. Of course, you can research and get some information from what exists, but like sometimes the physical work can bring you a lot of things and experiences that can, that can make your projects grow.
Totally. So you said that this is not ice, it's resin?
Yeah, it's a resin.
So how did you make these blocks? Did you make a mold or shape them somehow? Tupperware?
Yeah.
I love it.
Shape.
Cool, so you just poured it in and then you stuck
with the
in.
flowers and then trying for the flowers not to float that much and to get into good positions.
Right. How long did it take for it to harden?
It takes in between 12 and 24 hours.
Whoa.
So then, at some point you have to go to sleep. So then you come back and see, like, let's see what's happened here.
Right. So how did you get these to stand up? Were you holding them? Were they?
They are inside.
Right. So you said that you didn't want them to float.
Yeah, there were some nylon strings.
Strings. Cool.
Yeah.
So you kind of corralled them the way that you wanted them to be. Very cool. Whoa. Now that you said that it's Tupperware, it makes sense. But you wouldn't know just by looking at that. Mm-hmm. So how did you do this? Was it also hung by a string?
Yeah, it was hung by a string that was afterwards threaded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very cool. I love how you made the point that things are easier in real life sometimes.
Some of them. I mean, there's a lot of things that are easier to do in CGI, but there are some of them, especially when you're playing with like more organic things that sometimes are easier to do in the practical world.
That's really cool. Maybe we can look away from my screen for a second so I can see if we have any portfolios to review. Awesome. Cool. We can see the chat on the screen. Very cool. Let's see. We have another portfolio that we can open up. Great. So let's maybe look at one more of your projects and then look at some portfolios. Okay. Does that sound all right?
Great.
Cool. So we looked at freezing flowers. Is there anything in here that's very different that was really maybe difficult for you that we can talk about?
Different, difficult. Let's say this is older stuff. Let's see.
I'm sure all of it was difficult.
Well, let's show. Well, this Sex for Breakfast is a nice one,
Cool.
and this other one's also.
Cool. We can show both very quickly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, this is a collaboration I did with Pablo Alfieri. He's an art director and set designer from Argentina, and we wanted to do something together for a time. So he came to me with this idea about mixing morning sex with breakfast.
With food.
So we, like in a very innocent and way.
Yeah.
So we did this series of images, playing a little bit with bodies, but it's not anything very explicit showing.
Right.
And
It's all covered.
and then also with the food and the color and the set design.
Right. So this is, the first image was the before.
The before, and then it ends up with the after, which is like a great mess.
Let's see. I went to, is it there? Oh, they're still loading. There's a lot in this series.
Yeah, it's like 12 images in series.
So how was it working, collaborating?
Well, it was a really great experience. We have like great communication, one with the other, and it made like the project grow a lot. Was a very respectful thing in between the two of us, and yeah, we have kind of a very similar way, like to similar visual language, so we could go along with it together, and it was very much fun because it's also a personal project. So we had a lot of people involved here, Antiestatico in the production, and models and yeah, so
it sounds like a big production.
Yeah, but it wasn't that big. It just looks like a little bigger than it is. We did it with like not many resources, but yeah, it was great to do.
Yeah, I think my favorite detail is this little earring.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Right
details
there.
here happening.
Small little details, awesome. And then there was one more that you wanted to look at that you said
Yeah,
was
the
difficult.
Ford C-Max, you were asking about something different
Yeah,
and
tell me about it.
difficult. So this was a commercial. We did it for Ford.
Yeah.
So they wanted, the brief was, and the creative coming from the agency was, they wanted to tell a story about everything that could fit in the new Ford C-Max.
Right.
Whatever. And so it's this story about like grandma taking their sons to ballet and to hockey.
Yeah.
And it's like all of this can happen. And as I like to shoot as much as possible, I had to think a lot on the way to do this. So just for the retouching to make sense and to feel natural and everything coming together in a nice way. So there's also a behind-the-scenes video, but we had these like rubber gums like on the model, so this feeling about something being
like squished,
was happening, and it was just like, well, it was a very nice retouching work from Patrick from Eclipse. It's a retoucher
nice job,
I work
Patrick.
a lot with. And yeah, but we had like all the input that made sense to put together. Also, when I do this about combining images that were shot in different captures, I tried them to like make sense in the way that the point of view is the same, the distance to the camera and the light, and so yeah, it looks like more real when it's all together.
This seriously looks real, and it's kind of unsettling to me. Like looking up close, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a monster.
It's like,
so
and
cute.
then it was like best model ever.
Yeah,
like,
he's
was
like
the
one and
greatest
done.
baby.
Nailed it.
and he was so much fun. And I think he didn't have a hard time. Like sometimes I'm with children in shoots,
Yeah.
like they're going to have a hard time. And this baby, he was just there like for 10 minutes, and he gave us like
The best smile.
yeah, like a lot of
that.
different great shots.
Cool. My favorite part, behind
Yeah.
the scenes.
You can see how it was done.
Do you make sure that there's a behind the scenes video, or is this something that the client wants?
No, it's mostly me wanting it because I like to show the process behind,
Right.
and it's like
Wow.
another part of the project that makes it interesting for me and it's more educational as well. And yeah, sometimes I'm able to do it and sometimes I'm not. I would love to do it from every project, but sometimes it's just not possible.
This is interesting. So the first model was wearing the whole outfit.
Yeah, I try, if there's something that I think it's going to reflect or interact, or I try to get all those little details, because then it comes.
Sorry.
Yeah, the dog was also doing great.
Good model. But so you try and keep in mind reflectivity and different materials.
Yeah. Like all
Definitely.
the physical part of photography, I try to be as respectful as possible in this image that, like, a Frankenstein, like coming here, from here and there.
Right. Wow. Okay, the baby and the dog. Those are my favorite parts. Great models. Very cool. This is very different from the other things that you showed, but very Paloma as well.
Yeah, it's like the same process, but applied in a different way.
Very nice. I love this. It looked like it was fun to do as well. Cool. So we've looked at some of your work, which is very inspirational. I think some of our viewers have been inspired by your work, and they have shared their portfolios to be reviewed. So let's look at a couple of them. We have about 20 minutes left, so we'll give about 10 minutes to each. And the first one is Meredith Daphne. It looks like styling and photography. Cool. So you are obviously a photographer. You will have some good feedback for these photos. We'll just start scrolling through.
The light looks really nice.
Natural light.
I like natural light. I think being able to work properly with natural light is like, it's
a skill.
Assuring you're going to make good images. And I love how she plays with the backlight and the depth in the image with the depth of field.
Right. I feel like there's a very nice wash of color, like over the entire image, that's very earthy and has the feeling of a greenhouse, which is nice.
It's like the backlight coming and a little bit of it getting into the lens, so it gets like a bit of a whimsical feel to it.
Definitely. Very cool. We'll look at some more. It looks like each of these is a different series of images. So it seems like some like fashion, styling.
Yeah, it's like lifestyle fashion in a way, which has like
Ooh, this is nice.
point of a
Let's look at this.
reportage. Some of them. Let's see this one that's like more set up.
Yeah. Well, that's different.
I would love to know what like the story of it is about.
Right. Yeah, a little bit of a story. Like in your projects, you kind of have some information at the top.
Yeah, like maybe she has some point, but but because they are like I'm sure there's a story behind, because something's happening here.
Gotcha.
With
So-
this guy. It's like kind of mysterious look he's giving to us.
Definitely.
And this fan there.
It looks like, okay, so Meredith did the photography. Cool. I feel like the first image is the one that really drew me in.
It's very nice and it's very eye-catching. I like a lot this, her playing with the shadows in like with the low light. Like
Yes,
the
it's very
lowest
low.
key she keeps it in this series is when I like it the most.
Oh, okay. So it's a strong point of Meredith's work. Cool. Nice
The
patterns.
contrast as well, yeah, the pattern game with it. This
Some
one's
low
really
light.
nice.
Yeah. Let's check out this series. I wonder if Meredith is here. Meredith, are you in the chat? We haven't
Hello,
been looking
Meredith?
over there. Hello, Meredith. Are you there? I love the reflection of the pink in the hair.
and the background. Have used this like iridescent, and then all the light being colored in pink.
Yeah, the
And this
highlights.
detail of the...
Yeah, the Barbie
I would
heads.
love to know more about this.
Right.
Because she's got like
The belt.
The belt.
The head's over here, the body's over there. Yeah, these are obviously very conceptual. There has to be a story here. So maybe that's kind of our main feedback, or Paloma's main feedback is
For
tell
me,
us
it's
the
like,
story.
Yeah, because like the heads of the Barbies are in one of the ladies and the bodies are in the other, and this like like the opposing thing of one having one part and the other. It's like kind of
There's
makes
got to
me,
be something.
Yeah,
Definitely.
makes me want to know more.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So no story, but there is information on who these people are. Robot Barbie is the
Robot
name.
Barbie.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it
Nice.
has this futuristic feeling.
Right.
And I love it when they used like this background that made these like funny things with the light.
Yes. Right. I feel like I prefer the first set of images and then these last two. It's not that they're not good images, but they don't have the same.
Yeah, it's
tone.
like taking these personas out of the futuristic and galactic
True.
place.
Yeah.
It's like if they ask them to go to a more neutral place to get them. They're beautiful portraits,
Yep.
but as part of the story, I like to see them closer and better. That's something I like.
Yeah.
But I would have integrated this like kind of a similar background that like in a way
That pink
linked-
lighting.
Yeah.
Definitely. Cool. Let's look at just a couple more of Meredith's work. I was interested in this one. I want to know the story here. This is obviously a look. This is fashion going on.
Yeah, and it's men fashion, something I like.
Definitely.
Liking the colors, the two of them.
I like this darkness.
Yeah, I like the set, and it's very graphic, and all the yellow, it's popping out so
Yes.
much, like the socks. Like it's a little piece of socks you can see there,
Yep.
but they are popping out so
Yeah,
much.
these little details.
So if this is somehow advertising like the socks, like
it's working.
it's working really good.
Nice.
Or the yellow.
Some more sock action. Clearly fans of the socks. Cool. So
Nice.
after seeing some of Meredith's work, what would you say her strong point is, and what is something that she could work on for the future?
I think to work on it could be like the concepts and maybe like making the series a bit more compact
I see that.
in a way.
Yeah.
But she has a very strong point in portraiture.
I
She
agree.
works really good with light, with natural light as well. But I really like when she plays like with this more mysterious light.
Yeah.
And love what she does also like in a more reportage lifestyle way when she gets people like feeling more natural
Yep.
and also how she mixes the exact moment of light and these backlights and coming with that more spontaneous photography.
Right. Yeah. I think Meredith has a really natural skill. And you can tell just by the way that she takes photos.
She works really good with people.
Yeah, they're
And
comfortable.
you can get the feeling of that.
Yeah, nice job, Meredith. Thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Meredith.
submitting your portfolio. Good luck. All right, this is by Jamie. We've got fashion for new designers.
Okay.
Gonna zoom in so we can see the whole image all at once.
Nice one.
Popular pose.
So,
Whoa. passion.
I like how well, with the little I've seen so far, I like how he understands what the designer pieces are trying to show.
Yes.
And tries to play with it in a graphic way. Look at
cool.
this is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Floating.
Yeah, I'm a still life photographer, so these kind of things really
Like this.
catch me.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie's also in Madrid.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Jaime.
Cool.
Hey.
So it seems like it's similar. There's not a story, but you can kind of tell.
But he's showing designers' pieces.
Yes.
So yeah, there's like a brief out there where you have to show the piece and it has to be understood and
Wow.
and there's some. Look at those shoes.
I know.
It's crazy.
Platform. Let's see if
I like him using the wooden
Yeah.
ladder with the wooden shoes.
Right, I totally agree. So this is the portfolio. Just says that he is a photographer, and maybe you can read this. I cannot,
Yeah.
but it's always nice to see how people talk about themselves.
Okay, so he's a self-learned photographer, and he likes to write, and he's passionate about art, and yeah, things that he has to be like doing. His hands have to keep on doing, and then it's when imagination starts to work. And so he says he likes a lot what he does, and he does it because he likes it. And he's very lucky to dedicate himself to this that he likes with all his effort and passion.
Yeah.
And his dream is for the rest of the people to be able to enjoy what he does because he loves it very much.
Yeah.
And he wants to get somewhere with this, like far away.
Very cool. So it seems like he's very passionate, and I'd love to see more. Fill this portfolio up.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
So
keep
do
working.
more stuff. Yeah, keep working.
It seems like he's had his portfolio for a couple years. So let's see some more.
Yeah, don't be shy, Jaime. Just upload some more stuff.
Yeah.
So we
Agreed.
can all enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. And let me go over to the portfolio screen. Maybe we can show a different screen, and let's see if there's one more. Okay, so that was all of the portfolios for today. Maybe we can go back to your projects and maybe talk about one more before we let you go.
Okay, let's speak about, well, you choose now. It's either the bird dwells or the sweet style, maybe.
Bird jewels, you know it.
Okay.
You know I love animals. All right, what's the story?
Okay, the story about this is a project I did in collaboration with Serial Cut. They're art direction studio, and
cool.
I'm, Sergio, he is creative director, and me, we started together long
cool.
ago. So, we've worked a lot together. And for this project, we wanted to do a personal series. And for a time, I was very, I wanted so much to do something with stuffed birds. Well, I couldn't do it with real birds, but I have to say, these birds didn't suffer.
Yeah, they died of natural causes.
They died of natural causes, and we handled them with a lot of care.
Yeah.
So, we created these sets, like could remind of some maybe 70s set designs.
Yep. Interior.
Out of fabric, we rolled some cardboard, rolls with fabric and played around a bit with the color palette, also softer color palette,
Right.
more muted. And the story is that we use these like metallic rings, so it's got the feeling like the birds are crossing out these metallic rings.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And as they cross, like the part that hasn't crossed yet is coppered. We painted out of copper. And it's like mixing a bit of the idea of the lightweight of the bird and the flight with this copper, which could be more of a sculpture and kind of makes you feel it heavier.
Heavy, definitely. Wow, this is so ethereal. I love this little detail of it
Yeah,
just
it's
being...
just what it's in the other side of the ring that has this copper effect.
And does it have something to do with like them passing into the afterlife, or?
Yeah, it's because stuffed animals have this like thing of the dead and life in the same thing. It's like you can get that that like wide view about death and life after death, and I don't know, I'm not very mystical, but it do have
mystical.
something where the animal is there and you can see it's looking at you, but you know it's not alive anymore.
No, it's not really looking at you, but it is.
But in a way, it's so alive.
Yeah. Wow. So you said that these birds died of natural causes. How did you source these?
Well, through internet, we
Just the
searched.
internet?
Yeah. Well, there's people like for I don't know what project we had to, like with my producers, we had to look for stuffed animals sometime. I don't know what. So we had this contact, and we even searched for more people. And yeah, there's a big market, and there's people like really interested. They also sell like these like insects and butterflies, and
that's true.
And they have like many different things to choose from.
Yeah, lots of things to choose from. Is there a reason you chose these specific birds?
Because we felt they were the more beautiful from the ones they have. We also chose 3 of them that were different, like with different colors, with different poses.
Right.
They were our models, so we wanted to have some variety there.
Yeah, right. I think the pheasant is my favorite.
Yeah, it's really nice because it's got like more of a dynamic pose, like crossing by.
Right. Did you specifically choose these background colors to go with each specific bird?
Yeah. We went to this fabric shop and we got like loads of different ones, so we could it's like the same base of colors, but they change a little bit depending on the bird we're using and its own colors.
Right. So here we've got the dark browns, some little blue action. This has some purple or reddish pink. Let's see what this one has, and the dark browns and the gold. So cool. Wow, we probably have time to maybe very quickly look at one more. Sweet Style, maybe?
Yeah.
Because that's the other one we
go
chose
for
from.
it.
And while we're looking at this, what's the best way for our viewers to look at your work? Follow you on Behance?
Well, they can follow me on Behance. I have my website, palomarincon.com, and my Instagram, that's at Paloma slash how do you say this in English? Like the bottom slash.
Oh, underscore
Rincon underscore.
Oh, okay.
But if you just look Paloma Rincon, you will find me there.
Perfect. Wow, this makes me feel strange.
Yeah, it's this project is like it's like something that could be like very tasty and delicious, but at the same time, it's like something that you wouldn't want to have in your mouth.
No. Oof.
But in a way, I found that there's a lot of connection with the way that cupcakes and these kind of desserts are being done like visually with some of the hairstyles that I also see around. So I wanted to do this juxtaposition of things.
Wow. This is so cute. I love this.
Strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate.
Perfect. The perfect combination of hair flavors. Wow, chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us and being kind to Paloma. I hope you're inspired by her work. Yeah, Paloma, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, you've been a natural live streamer. I hope you do it again sometime.
Hopefully, it was fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
awesome.
it.
Cool, everyone. So stick around. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with more awesome designers and artists at be.net/live. Say goodbye to Paloma. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.